Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless official 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Kane seeks Carter's murder confession. Kane Ashby will seek Carter's murder confession, according to the Young and the Restless recap for Friday, July 25th, and Nikki Newman will sacrifice Chancellor for Nick Newman's sake. After Billy Abbott heads off to find someone with more medical knowledge, Sharon Newman will keep Nick's spirits up with talk about their kids and the future. Meanwhile, Billy will give Sally Spectra updates on injured Nick, so she'll agree to use some tricks she learned while helping the Carnies. Sally will clean Nick's wound with some booze and use a tea bag as well as salt under a cloth as a bandage. Once the bleeding is under control, Nick will thank Sally for saving him, though she'll insist it was really more of a group effort. While Sharon, Sally, and Billy try to move Nick to the train, Lauren Baldwin will show up at Nikki's sleeping car. That'll give Nikki a chance to rant about Kane and the situation that Nick's in. Nikki will determine that giving Chancellor to Kane could make all this go away. Since Nikki will be in a position to clear Nick's name and score his freedom, she'll insist on moving ahead with a deal. Lauren won't approve of that plan, and she won't think Victor Newman's going to like it either. Despite this, Nikki will make it abundantly clear that she would do anything for her kids. Next on Friday's Y&R episode, Kane Ashby will tell Carter to head for the bar area and vow to join him there soon. Kane won't appreciate Victor and Chancellor grilling Carter alone, but they'll consider Carter a major suspect considering he knew about the knife being under Nick's sink. There'll be questions about whether Carter might have carried out Kane's orders or taken steps on his own if believed he was protecting Kane. Victor will make it clear that they need to get to the bottom of this. Back with Carter, he'll find Amanda Sinclair in the bar area, so he'll admit that Victor and Chance were questioning him. Carter will insist that Kane did not kill Damian Kane because he was far too kind. When Lily Winters pops up, Carter will also defend Kane to her and insist she should give him another chance. Kane will come along moments later, so Lily will declare that he disgusts her and saunter off. Once Nikki corners Amanda with Lauren by her side, she'll announce that she's willing to give up Chancellor. In exchange, Nikki will want assurance that Nick will walk free and avoid going down for murder. Amanda will have a signed affidavit that gives Nick an alibi, and she'll have paperwork for the transfer of ownership as well. Since everything is set up, Lauren will make it seem like Nikki is being duped and try to get her to sign nothing. Back with Kane, he'll confront Carter privately over the planted knife. Kane will also think there are other things that point in Carter's direction, like the fact that he knew about the knife collection and had access to the private booze stash as well as the security footage. Carter will get emotional over everything Kane's done for him and what he feels he owes his boss. Kane will suspect Carter went after Damian to remove an obstacle to his happiness with Lily, so he'll play up the trust between them and push for the truth. Around the corner and out of sight, Victor and Chance will eavesdrop as they await Carter's confession. The Young and the Restless spoilers say things are about to get even more wild in Nice, so stay tuned for all the shocking news and heated confrontations. Carter dead in final showdown. Kane saves Lily's life? The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Carter may end up dead in a final showdown after Kane Ashby helps save Lily Winters' life. Once Kane pries a murder confession out of Carter, the situation will take a wrong turn. After Chancellor and Victor Newman eavesdrop on that admission of guilt, Carter will realize the jig is up. Kane may insist that Carter's loyalty went too far and that he'll have to pay the price for his actions. Killing Damian Kane obviously crossed the line, so Chance may prepare to hold Carter until the authorities can drag him away. That's when Carter will make another bold move by pointing a gun at Lily Winters, who'll be totally caught off guard. Lily will suddenly become a hostage and fear she may not get out of this nightmare alive. Y&R spoilers say Chance and Kane will do their best to talk Carter down, but he'll become a man with nothing left to lose. Carter will fume over Kane's reaction to everything he did for his boss. Since Carter was trying to clear a romantic path for Kane and Lily's future, one without Damian as an obstacle, he'll be appalled over Kane not appreciating his twisted plan. Of course, Kane's priority will be making sure Lily stays alive and in one piece. There'll be some terrifying moments for Kane as he worries about Lily getting shot in this hostage situation. Carter will get ready to make his way through the maze with Lily in his grasp, but Kane may leap into action. It's easy to imagine Kane diving for the gun and trying to wrestle it away from Carter. That could lead to the gun going off and pumping Carter with a bullet he won't survive. Kane may save Lily and ultimately watch as a bloody Carter collapses to the ground. We know that multiple bodies will be taken to the coroner's office once Amanda Sinclair gets the authorities to the estate. Damien's corpse will be removed from the walk-in freezer, but Carter's dead body could be transported, too. Kane may come to Lily's rescue, but that doesn't mean she's going to thank him for it. Lily may hold Kane responsible for everything that went down with Carter and wish none of them had ever come to this party. Can Sharon finally break free from the kidnapping curse? Too many kidnapped damsel in distress stories. Sharon Case is a skilled actress capable of portraying a diverse range of storylines, yet she has recently found herself in a repetitive situation. Over the past few months, Sharon has repeatedly been in scenarios where she is held against her will. Initially, she became Jordan's prisoner in the Saw, which was quite a harrowing experience for her. The following kidnapping incident occurred when Sharon was confined with Phyllis Summers in an old psychiatric facility, where they were subjected to Martin Laurent's psychological manipulations. Now, Sharon and Nick Newman are under house arrest at Kane Ashby's estate, but let's be honest and just call it what it really is. They are being held hostage. Sharon's traumatized by the kidnapping scenarios. Sharon has endured so much trauma from her kidnappings that she experienced a panic attack in that storage room. It's evident that all these situations of captivity are weighing heavily on her mentally. While a compelling hostage storyline can be entertaining occasionally, is Y&R pushing the limits with the relentless kidnappings involving Sharon. It's beginning to feel excessively repetitive, leading many viewers to voice their concerns on social media. Soap operas have a wealth of other themes to explore, so it would be refreshing to see more diversity in Sharon's storylines in the future. There must be other storylines for Sharon besides kidnappings. There are definitely other situations that Sharon could find herself in that don't require her to be confined. The kidnapping stories are getting a little bit old, and definitely not exciting. Once Sharon's recent ordeal is behind her, concentrating on her love life could be a wise choice and allow her to find, or perhaps, recapture, true love for a change. The show might finally deliver what Nick and Sharon supporters have been hoping for if they allow this couple to come back together. Nevertheless, Sharon may grow weary of her attempts to escape the friend zone. And if that happens, she might eventually pursue a relationship with another man. It would be fascinating to watch Sharon develop feelings for someone new and embark on a new beginning, hopefully one that's lasting this time and not so tumultuous. Too many kidnapped damsel in distress stories. Sharon Case is a skilled actress capable of portraying a diverse range of storylines, yet she has recently found herself in a repetitive situation. Over the past few months, Sharon has repeatedly been in scenarios where she is held against her will. Initially, she became Jordan's prisoner in the Saw, which was quite a harrowing experience for her. The following kidnapping incident occurred when Sharon was confined with Phyllis Summers in an old psychiatric facility, where they were subjected to Martin Laurent's psychological manipulations. Now, Sharon and Nick Newman are under house arrest at Kane Ashby's estate, but let's be honest and just call it what it really is. They are being held hostage. Sharon's traumatized by the kidnapping scenarios. Sharon has endured so much trauma from her kidnappings that she experienced a panic attack in that storage room. It's evident that all these situations of captivity are weighing heavily on her mentally. While a compelling hostage storyline can be entertaining occasionally, is Y&R pushing the limits with the relentless kidnappings involving Sharon. It's beginning to feel excessively repetitive, leading many viewers to voice their concerns on social media. Soap operas have a wealth of other themes to explore, so it would be refreshing to see more diversity in Sharon's storylines in the future. Sharon must have more to her story than kidnappings. There are definitely other situations that Sharon could find herself in that don't require her to be confined. The kidnapping stories are getting a little bit old, and definitely not exciting. Once Sharon's recent ordeal is behind her, concentrating on her love life could be a wise choice and allow her to find, or perhaps, recapture, true love for a change. V.S. I think Kane is setting up Nick for Damien's murder so he can use it as a means to get Victor to give him Chancellor, the original poster speculated. Read now. What's going on with Amanda and Kane on Y&R? The mystery could be staged by Kane. More evidence might be found to prove that Nick is the killer. Nick's room is likely to contain additional props. In addition, the Redditor is of the opinion that Kane can get rid of the evidence if Victor grants him access to Chancellor communications. What do fans think? In the thread, Other fans discussed this frightening theory. One user responded, "Entirely possible," while another pointed out, "I don't know what day you are watching, but Kane reveals that as the plan." "Oh, I guess I'm late to the party," was the original poster's response. It's possible that the Redditor had already predicted this. Kane did reveal his plan in the Wednesday, July 23rd episode. "OMG. They just shared that. You were spot on," another user remarked. It makes sense since Kane wants to get Lily back on his good side by giving her Chancellor communications. Now, he's making the Newmans pay for how Victor and Nikki treated her. What are your thoughts on this plan? Do you believe it will succeed? Do you have any other wild theories? Let us know your comments in the section below. Chaos in Kane, danger in Nikki, and a medical emergency. Kane Ashby will reel over how out of control his situation has become. Nikki Newman, on the other hand, is in danger. There will also be a medical emergency, so let's get started. Nikki Newman's danger. Let's start with Nikki, who will be in danger when she lands. Kane has no interest in physically hurting anyone. It's hard for anyone to believe that with all these secrets and mind games, though. Of course, fans know that Victor Newman zooms to the rescue to save Nikki just in time. Kane Ashby's chaos. Over with Kane, his game has turned into a real murder. Kane didn't kill Damian Kane. However, it is certain that it is being orchestrated by someone to portray him as guilty. It's also making Kane question the people closest to him, the ones he trusts the most. Kane and Amanda Sinclair are already accusing each other of disloyalty, but they are both innocent. It is highly unlikely that Kane ever sent anyone down the mountain to obtain the police. So, he's going to have to start getting honest before someone else dies. Nick Newman's injuries. According to next week's Young and the Restless spoilers, Nick Newman will require medical attention following a fight. Victor will vow revenge, but once again, Kane will claim he had nothing to do with Nick getting attacked. If it turns out Kane has been lying about there being no service, then everyone could start to demand they contact their loved ones. Because Claire Grace Newman has been dealing with Cole Howard's death, Kyle Abbott will want to reassure her. Audra Charles will have to call Nate Hastings in the interim, and Nate Hastings might have to decide how to tell Amy Lewis about the news. Nate, who has a lot of discernment, will hear something off in Audra's voice. Of course, Nate could be so shocked by Damian's death that he might not be as perceptive as usual. Month of July, 2025. Back in Genoa City, Chelsea Lawson and Adam Newman will continue spying on Holden Novak. While Kyle is out of town, Claire might continue to rely on Holden for support. Kane Ashby had previously been pushed to the edge, but never in this way. Haunted by secrets, half-truths, and the blood on too many hands, he now walked a razor's edge between vengeance and justice. And at the center of it all stood Carter, the man whose charm mastered darker truth, the man Kane knew had murdered to protect a lie. For weeks, the storm had been building up. Kane had been circling Carter like a wolf, waiting his turn, watching, and gathering evidence ever since Amanda had discovered inconsistencies in the case file and Michael had discovered a sealed deposition deep within Victor Newman's archives until there was no longer just suspicion but certainty. Carter had killed Damian, not in self-defense, not by accident, but to silence him. Carter had ensured that Damian took something that he knew too much about to the grave. With clenched fists, a pounding heart, a hidden recorder in his pocket, and a fire in his eyes, Kane stood now in front of Carter's office. He didn't want vengeance for himself, he wanted truth, justice, redemption, and maybe, just maybe, a shot at peace. But Carter wasn't going down without a fight. As Kane entered, Carter greeted him with that same smug grin that always made Kane's blood boil, the grin of a man who thought he was still in control. Kane sat down, calm but coiled, and began the conversation with false small talk, luring Carter into a false sense of security. He then skillfully and slowly brought up the murderous night. "You ever think about Damian?" he asked softly, his eyes locked on Carter's. A flicker of something crossed Carter's face, panic, guilt, fear. But it vanished almost as quickly as it appeared. "Not really," Carter replied, too quickly. "Why?" Kane leaned forward. "Because I have. Every day. I think about what he might have said if he hadn't been silenced. About what secrets he was trying to expose. About who wanted him dead." And there it was. Carter blinked, shifted in his seat, his smile faltered. Kane pressed on, not letting up, drawing out inconsistencies, asking questions no one else dared to ask, until finally, cornered and desperate, Carter snapped. Fine. Standing up, he hissed and slammed his hand against the desk. You want the truth? He was going to ruin everything. He was going to tell lies to the public that would have hurt my career, my life, and my reputation. So yeah, I stopped him. I made sure he couldn't talk to anyone else again. The room fell into silence as Carter realized what he'd just said, his eyes darting to Kane's jacket pocket, where the blinking red light of the recorder now pulsed like a heartbeat. Carter lunged, but it was too late. Kane stood, calm, steady, the recorder secure in his hand. He said quietly, "Game over." And for the first time in a long time, Kane smiled, not out of joy, but because the weight of buried truths had finally begun to lift. But little did he know, this confession was just the beginning. In Genoa City, justice is never simple, and for every truth uncovered, a dozen more secrets wait in the shadows, ready to explode. In a pulse-pounding climax worthy of a primetime thriller, the final confrontation between Kane Ashby and Carter Marks exploded into a symphony of betrayal, gunfire, and redemption, leaving fans gasping and forever altering the canvas of The Young and the Restless. For months, Carter had slithered in and out of Genoa City's shadows, manipulating, threatening, and eliminating those who got in the way of his mysterious vendetta. But nothing prepared Lily Winters, or viewers, for the night Carter lured her into the crumbling warehouse on the edge of town, a twisted trap baited with every grudge he'd harbored since Kane exposed his initial fraud years ago. As lightning cracked through broken glass panes and rain fell like judgment, Carter revealed his true plan: eliminate Lily to punish Kane, making him watch the woman he loved suffer for his past sins. Kane, racing against time with only Amanda's cryptic tip-off to guide him, arrived seconds before the trigger was pulled. The two men engaged in a brutal, desperate brawl that was fueled by a primal instinct for survival and was a battle scarred by previous wounds. Until Lily, bruised but unharmed, distracted him just long enough for Kane to grab a shard of steel and slam it into Carter's side. Carter, slick and brutal, nearly gained the upper hand. But even then, Carter didn't die easily. He detonated a hidden explosive designed to cause the building to collapse with a final, bloody laugh. In a heart-stopping moment, Kane lifted Lily into his arms, dodged flaming debris, and sprinted toward freedom as the building imploded behind them. Outside, paramedics rushed to treat them both while Carter's lifeless body smoldered beneath the rubble. His reign of terror finally ended. The aftermath was bittersweet. Kane and Lily, reunited by fire and fury, stood at the edge of something new. But scars don't fade easily, and trust once broken doesn't mend overnight. Was Carter the end of their nightmare or just the beginning of a deeper reckoning for all they've endured? In Genoa City, peace is always temporary, and just as one villain falls, another shadow lurks nearby. For years, Sharon Newman has walked through life with a target on her back, whether by fate, family name, or sheer narrative cruelty. And now the question hangs in the Genoa City air like heavy storm clouds. Can she finally break free from the relentless kidnapping curse that has plagued her since the earliest chapters of her time in this twisted town? A haunting pattern, a shadow that stretches behind every relationship she has dared to trust, every kiss she has ever stolen under the moonlight, and every door she has opened thinking it led to safety only to find herself bound, gagged, and struggling for breath as another villain tried to use her as a pawn. This is more than just a series of dramatic events that were brought together by trauma. Sharon's beauty, grace, and undeniable magnetism were once her strengths, but in a world of backstabbing lovers and power-hungry enemies, they became weaknesses, flashing neon signs for danger to come. She's been locked in basements, left in the woods, tied to chairs, tracked like prey, and held hostage in the name of revenge, obsession, or control. But this time it's different. This time, she's not waiting for Nick, or Ray, or Dylan, or Chance, or anyone else to come to the rescue. This time, she's the storm, not the victim. Sharon realized that something had changed within her after narrowly evading Carter's grasp. Sweat mixed with tears as she ran barefoot through the pitch black with broken glass on her wrists. No more silent suffering. No more second chances for men who claim to love her but leave her vulnerable to monsters. She remembered every time she had begged for mercy, every moment she saw her life flash before her eyes, every broken promise that she would never be hurt again. And along with that memory came fire. Fire in her veins, fire in her eyes, and fire in the way she looked down on her captor even when she was bruised and shaking. Because Sharon wasn't just fighting for herself anymore.